in one play tonight.
Yeah, this was a long day. This was a late game at 8 o'clock, and you know, as much as it wasn't just any other game, it really was. There was a lot of weight on the guys, I think, a lot of weight on the staff to make sure we opened this building in the right way. And I'm very pleased that we did it in the fashion we did it. The first half started out with a lot of energy, then I thought the game slowed and we lost some of the tempo. And then I thought we were very sharp in the second half, in particular when Wayne came on, and I think you saw what happened there.
Nice to be home then, particularly with the spectacular goals that you scored as well.
Great goals, yeah, all great goals. And I thought Paul, being out a little bit, struggled to get into the game. In the second half, I think you saw him back to form. I'm happy that he got a few goals. Emil's goals, just pure class. Great way to open the building. Great first goal for Audi Field.
And so what you saw in Wayne tonight as well, please?
Yeah, I mean, we saw what Wayne is. He's a high-quality, elite soccer player. It looked like the game was pretty slow for him, and I don't think he lost the ball. Held up a few, made some key passes, and got on the end of a few balls in the box. This is what he's going to do. This is what he's going to consistently do for this team.
Go
ahead, go.
You played Wayne pretty centrally, as opposed to maybe dropping a little bit deeper in midfield, though I know you dropped deep at times. Is that how you see his role developing going forward?
There's been a lot of talk about where's Wayne going to play. I mean, he's in my mind, he's a number 9, but he's a versatile 9. So you can use him in a bunch of different roles, whether he's dropped off as a 10. In certain scenarios, he can play the 8 for you and still make out of that position. So again, it's nice to have versatility, and I think he's going to be just fine in whatever role we use him in.
Paul talked a lot about one of the reasons he really liked this acquisition, that he felt Wayne really fit into kind of the ethos of the kind of front five that you already had in the pass and move, and really trusting other players with the ball. How much did kind of that ability of his play into his signing, and how much do you feel like that was shown in his 35 minutes?
Yeah. Again, I think he just made the right play, right? And we talk about that, but there's a huge value in that, of making the right play in the right moment with the right weight, with the right quality, and he's just going to make others around him better. And all these guys are still, we're still a young team. People don't talk about how young we are, and not only the soccer aspect, but the mentality that he will bring to elevate some of our young guys through his habits, through his experience, is going to be invaluable. And Paul knows that. Paul's a smart young kid, and Lucho's game will raise, and Emil, and so that's the exciting part of this. But it's we're lucky to have him.
What were your impressions of just the venue, the atmosphere, the noise, initial impressions?
They got there. The energy got there. It took a couple goals to get that building rocking, but it was I think both the fans and even our team for the most part were a little nervy, and just this new building, maybe we just never thought it was going to be built, and couldn't get our feet wet. But it was a great night, and I thought the second half was a lot of fun.
How did it compare to our game? Were you nostalgic at all for our team?
Yeah, you're asking the wrong guy. I've had some great nights there. I love that building, but this will do for now.
You mentioned the youth of this team. How important was it to get Harks and Knaus in there at the last minute to get them games both on the field with Rooney because of the level he raises, and just in general, especially Russell, who's coming back?
Yeah, Russell, it was, I probably should have brought him in a little earlier and gave him a little bit more trust, but maybe for Durkin to get more touches on the ball. But it was good for him to see even 5-6 minutes of that speed of play. And he's been out for quite a while, and he's a touch rusty, but he's going to be he's going to play a big part in this with this group.
Coach, congrats on this historic day.
Thank you.
Could you share any personal reflections or moments? What moments from this night will stick out for you allowing this?
I mean, it's up there, right? I mean, this is one of the great nights in DC United history, and we've had some good ones. You know, I did get here early, and I took a nice walk and kind of by myself. You know, wanted to look around because I knew once the game happened that I wasn't going to be able to appreciate the moment. But with the 3-goal lead, you know, your heart rate slows down a little bit there the last 5 minutes, and to take a look around and understand how long and the struggle that this club has gone through to get this building up, and to now come back, you know, here after 4 months on the road, and to put a performance like this and be entertaining in the way we played and score great goals is, again, just a great night, and I'm very proud to be part of this organization.
What's going on, everybody? It's another wonderful week. We are here, Focus TV. We got Octavia Wyatt, Cardell Dudley, Wilson Tarpey Jr. We got Dama Rove here on social media. So we got a lot to talk about today. I guess I don't even know where we want to start. Audi Field last week was amazing. I think I called everybody I know to tell them how much I enjoyed it. The only part I didn't enjoy was the parking, but I get over that. It was $500 million well spent.
That's a lot of money.
Hey, look, it smelled like.
Just get
hey,
$1 million?
when you walked in, it smelled like money.
I mean,
like
it's Audi
felt like
Field,
the paint didn't dry yet. It just, everything was just great, man.
I just want $1 million. I don't need 500. Just
look, man. It looked like it cost every penny too. All I got to say, every single penny. But we're gonna talk about that a little bit later. If you follow us on social media, then you already know what we're talking about. We got a missing segment, Pitts League playoffs, about to hit the championship games. Talk about that. Obviously, DC United, as I just mentioned. And we got a little rapid fire later on. But before we started, Cardell, I know you wanted to shout out a special group of young men.
Oh, for sure, man. I want to give a special shout out to Team Takeover. They completed a historic season on the Nike EYBL circuit. They won a PGM championship, finished the season 23-1, which is unheard of. That's damn near like, you know, on par with, well, it is on par with the Warriors and the Bulls, because they completed it. They won a championship with the Bulls did, and they did it without any player being named to the all EYBL team. You know, they did it. Don't get it twisted. Like, some of the players are highly ranked. Don't get it twisted. But what I'm saying is, none of the players. It was a team effort. You know, they just and that's kind of, you know, Keith Stevens, the head coach, MO. He wants everybody to play together. You know, nobody play above each other. Play great team basketball, and just work as one cohesive unit. And they marched right all the way to, you know, the championship. They were, you know, 6'9" Armando Bacadri. We talked about him before. He was named Peach Jam MVP after averaging 11.3 points, 12.8 rebounds, 1.6 assists, and 1.4 steals on 58% shooting, including 14 points, 14 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 blocks on 6 of 8 shooting performance in the championship game. You know, so he's ranked 20th currently. You know, he'll probably go up. And the thing I liked about it, he didn't go through any, you know, cupcakes to do it. He went through some top flight bigs to get it done. And then this includes James Wiseman, who's ranked #1 in the country by ESPN, Isaiah Stewart, who's ranked #5, and finally Dante, who's ranked 10th in the 2020 class. He's going to be a junior, and Vernon Carey, who's ranked #2 out of Florida, and Tracy Jackson Davis, who's ranked #15. All of those are bigs that he's battling with right now, and he had to perform against all those that average that double-double, so Takeover could come out on top. So, you know, that you know, was a big-time just season, you know what I'm saying? They became, you know, they got off to such a strong start that they became 100. And, you know, they withstood, you know, they withstood the barrage, man. So, you know, congratulations to them. Bragging rights definitely resides here in the DMV for now, you know what I'm saying? When we say we have the best, you know, talent, grassroots, can't really argue it no more. So, you know, respecting them.
Man, and they did it on a big stage.
Big stage.
Big stage.
Oladipo,
You know?
Westbrook, everybody in the building.
That's a big stage. All right, on to the Mystics before we talk about, you know, their road woes. For those who've been following, congratulations in order for Elena Delle Donne and Christy Tolliver. They were named 2018 WNBA All-Stars. The game is July 28th at 3:30 p.m. I hope you guys tune in to check that out. Mystics, after their last home game, they're playing 7-8 on the road. The most recent game, they went to Atlanta. They lost by 3. They got off to a hot start, but it's, been kind of a theme this year at times. The Mystics get off to hot starts and don't sustain the leads. The Dream, we saw firsthand, just a week ago in person. That's a very talented team. They're starting to find their way. A lot of length, a lot of athleticism. AJ McCautry has some young guns with her, and they're ready to go. They stormed back in the second quarter to kind of even things up. And then it was all kind of, the game went back and forth for a little bit. The Dream carved out a 10-point lead with about 5:26 left. Then the Mystics went on a big 11-2 run to get back into it. They had a chance with 13.9 seconds after Monique Curry got a defensive rebound to get the go-ahead bucket. Chrissy Tolliver's jumper came up short. The foul game was played. The Dream ended up winning that game by 3. In that loss, Elena Delle Donne became the fastest player to reach 3,000 points. So, just milestones there. But it's going to be tough. And the players knew this upcoming road trip was going to be real. Up next, they have the Wings, where a certain player, Miss Liz Cambage, or Cambage, if I'm pronouncing it wrong, I'm so sorry, Liz, but she went crazy today. 53 points, 17 to 22 from the floor, 15 to 16 from the line, 10 rebounds, and 5 blocks. They got the Wings, the Liberty, the Sun, and then the Dream again. And then when they return home on August 3rd, they got probably the Rookie of the Year and her mom ready to go. The Las Vegas Aces will be here for that one home game out that 8-game stretch. So, Cardell, your thoughts on the loss in Atlanta?
They got to get their defense together. We keep talking about it, throughout the series. Throughout the season. That's how Atlanta walked them down. They held in 2 wins over the Mystics. They held Washington 40% shooting from the field and 35% shooting from 3. So even though the Mystics might jump out to a hard start or get hot somewhere in the game, the Dream's defense is consistent enough to withstand that. They don't fold. They're mentally tough. They stick with what they do. And eventually they wear the Mystics down to the point where they just close them out. The first game was a blowout. Last game was definitely winnable. But the edge goes to them because they were tougher down the stretch and on that defensive end. That's why I don't understand why people just ignore defense a lot, man. That's what wins you games. Your offense don't have it going, which is always possible. That's the thing that can sustain you. So until you can kind of get it going enough to win the game. And right now, that's where they struggle at. Just looking at, the Dream is just one of those matchups. It seems like I don't care how good you are, it's a certain team that just match up with you well. And the Dream are that, just with their length and the versatility and athleticism. Like, they really have no weaknesses. And the thing that they're strong at, they can kind of capitalize off of where the Mystics are kind of weak at. And that's at the I don't want to say. I like Sanders, but if she struggles against bigger physical centers. So if you have a big that's physical, that's athletic, that can run, that can do a lot of different things, you have an advantage down there. And then it's always been held dealing with Angel, McCautry, and all those guys. Sykes.
Hayes,
all the Hayes and all the Sykes. 20. You see what I'm saying? So, and here's the thing, the rookie Ariel Atkins actually did a good job on McCautry. They both canceled each other out, but the rookie, McCautry being a vet and all-star, she got the benefit of the calls. Whereas the rookie, she fouled out. So that's what hurt them, and that's why the game was still close. So the Mystics can beat them, but they have to play a solid game on both ends. They can't just be like one moment we got to go on the offense. All right, then we strapping up. Then it might be a 3-minute period where we're doing both. Then we fall apart in a different area. You can't do that against them because they definitely will be seeing them to try to move on to playoffs. That's for sure.
Yeah, and that's like we've been talking about, as you said, with defense all year. That's the most frustrating part about it. Is you would imagine that a team that understands that they're at their best when they're playing great defense would make sure that part of that, like that's the part of the game that they focus on, that they have with them at all times. And they've yet to put together 40 minutes of good defense yet this season. Despite that, they still have a good record. They still are where they are in the standings. But with this road trip, if they don't pack their defense, by the time they come home August 3rd, the standings could look dramatically different.
Yeah, because there's a few teams right on their heels.
And the other thing right now in this league, while it's kind of funny because while everyone's complaining about parity or the lack thereof in NBA, the WNBA, we're literally seeing it where everybody, like nobody's having an easy season. Like everybody on every given night, teams are losing to almost any and everybody in that league. Teams that started slow, they're starting to find their way right now, and no one's been able to get far enough ahead of the pack where they have a cushion. So it's been exciting to watch. I'm sure it's gonna be an exciting finish. Look forward to All-Star Weekend, but the Mystics definitely got business to take care of on this very, very long road trip. They're gonna be living kind of the life DC United lived for a little bit, where they spend all their time on
living
the road.
out a suitcase.
Man, living out a suitcase for a little while.
But they got a little break,
Yeah.
with the All-Star break, so it's no excuse. They just gotta get it done. Simple as that.
And that's the other thing is it's not like they can't. Like, we've seen them before.
Just got to get back in the groove of things.
But, and that's the tough part about any team learn how to win is being consistent at the things you get at. So we'll see how that goes as they go forward. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about this DC United inaugural match at Audi Field thing. We'll be right back. You are watching the Focus TV. Welcome back to the Focus TV. As promised, we're going to talk about DC United. We've been talking about them, a little bit each and every week here and there, but we're going to talk about them a little bit more now that they're going to be spending more time at home. As I've been telling you guys, they're going to spend the last 15 of the 20 games of the season at home in their new digs. Right now, they already played one. They won that game. They beat the Vancouver Whitecaps 3-1. It was a pretty decent showing for the home side. They won their inaugural match at Audi Field 3-1. Yamil Assad scored the first goal in Audi Field history, and it was a beautiful goal. Like it was a classy goal. It was tremendous. It was nothing but skill. Shout out to Yamil because that was a perfect way to open a new building. I think O'Neal Fisher tried to cross the ball. It was deflected. Zoltan Steiber got the rebound, played it over to Yamil. Yamil didn't even take a touch to set it up. Literally one-timed it, but it was the type of touch that he used that made it so beautiful. Put it in the upper 90, just lofted it over the keeper. It was a very, very nice goal. Then, DC United, after the energy that they came out with, kind of settled down a little bit. The game kind of got a little bit sloppy there between both teams. But in the 58th minute, what everyone's been waiting for, Wayne Rooney, formerly of Manchester United and most recently Everton, he made his DC United debut, and he didn't disappoint. Paul Areola, he's been here for a little while. They went out and got him last year. I think he's really going to be one of the players that benefits from Rooney's presence up front. And it almost happened immediately. Areola scored in the 69th minute, and that was literally 11 minutes after Rooney came into the game. And then he scored in the 89th minute. In the 69th minute, you started to see some combination play between really between the midfield, like Luciano Acosta, Rooney up top, doing a little bit of, being a target man at times, setting other folks up, really opening the Vancouver back line up. And Areola, using the great speed that he has, took advantage of it. His first goal, very nice, took a touch to settle it down, then beat the keeper. The second goal was my favorite. I think Assad got the ball to Lucho. Lucho played it to Rooney. He passed it back to Areola. Lucho initially looked like he was going to touch the ball, but he ran off it. A nice little dummy run. And Areola put that ball in the far post. It was a beautiful strike. Everybody went nuts. The building started rocking. And it was a great way to kind of just open something that, black and red supporters have been waiting for this for 20 plus years. And it was a good showing. As far as what Rooney brings, some were surprised. I'm not surprised in the least bit about what he did that first game. He's coming from one of the, in terms of where you play the sport, one of the elite levels. And this is not a knock on MLS at all, but, you're coming from that level back to this one. This league's not quite there yet. And it's, as Ben also said in the post-game presser, it's just a touch slow. For even with him, while he's not himself yet, I don't think he'll probably be fully like, the Wayne Rooney we know, and kind of like really get in his bag, start playing with a little bit of flair here and there, probably for another few games. But just simple, we talk about basketball IQ, just knowing the game. He made it easier for his young teammates, and the fact that you have to account for him at all times because this is one of England's greatest goal scorers. There's a reason, there's a reputation that follows him. You can't just leave him for other people. So it's going to open things up for the youngsters. And Areola, after moving inside from playing out wide earlier this year, he's going to make a living if he understands that the space Rooney gets, he's going to be free to run. There is one moment in the second half where Rooney played the ball to Areola, and I don't think Paul realized how open he was. He played the ball out he played the ball up top to Lucho, but while it was a good pass and I could see where, what Paul was thinking it was a good idea, he didn't understand that when Rooney played him that ball, as fast as he is, it was going to be one-on-one between Areola and the keeper. As this young team realizes what Rooney does for them, and in turn what they'll do for him, I expect the attack to continue to improve, and they should be able to make some noise down the stretch. But again, game by game basis, they got a tough one this week. They travel to Atlanta. That's Yamil Assad's former club. That's where he's on loan from, and that's a very, very talented team. But I expect people to not like playing this version of DC United as the weeks go on, and definitely I don't think opposing teams are going to like playing in Audi Field. I think it's going to be a good home field advantage. And I look forward to how that goes. So they got Atlanta this week, then the following Wednesday they will return home. So we're going to go and head to see what we have for this week. Jamal Hayward on the 9-4-50 breakdown. Tim Hardaway between cross. Look forward to this. We'll catch you guys on the other side of the break right after the 9-4-50 breakdown. You're watching the Focus TV.
So you got to select ball here, okay? So you go, cross, all right? Same thing on the other side. Sell, okay? Sell it, okay? I see you.
Welcome back. And again, want to say thank you to Jamal Hayward of 9-4-50 for another wonderful week of the Breakdown series. All right, so the Pitts League, we had a commissioner here, I believe last week, talking about the postseason. We are here. Championship games. The championship games are set on both the men's and women's sides. We got all-star games this weekend as well. So we're ready for the conclusion of the Pitts League season. Cardell, we were in the building this week. At least I think I was with you on Sunday, not on Saturday. But what did you think of the road to the finals? How did these teams get there?
A lot of underdogs. I think this is the year the underdogs pushed through. They came ready to play. On the women's side, Black Lives Matter. When I first saw them in the first round, I was just like, they scrappy, they played well together. They got a lot of guards that could do a lot of things for us, do the dirty work, and I just felt like they would be a problem. So when they knocked off Team Anonymous, which was the top seed, I was like, they got a chance. You know what I'm saying? But the thing was, they went up against another tough team, the Vets. So when they went up against the Vets, I wasn't sure if the Vets experience would knock them off, and they pulled through. And the reason why they pulled through because they couldn't guard one player, Brittany Burgess. She just kind of came on the scene. I mean, I even asked Rod about it. She just came. I didn't know who she was, and he hadn't really seen her play because he'd be all over the place trying to make sure the league is running right. And even in the first round on Saturday, it was ugly. Like she plays like Jamal Crawford. When he was with LA at the Clippers, like bring him in, let him go to work. And that's been the difference. Like no one can guard her. She's sliding them out the gym, full court. They trying to trap her. She dribbling through the traps, crossing them over, throwing it, getting it back. She can score. She get the jumper. I mean, she kills so much. I told Rob about her. So he sat down, and watched her, and she came down there in and out behind the back, pull up jumper, and then me and Rob just looked at each other. He was just raised our eyebrow like I told you. So she's been the difference. I know. Danae Hill for, Renee Stones got the MVP. Mm-hmm. But as far as the run through the playoffs right now, it's Brittany Burgess. So they, don't sleep that they're the AFC. They have every bit of a shot like Renee Shawn to pull this out. So it's definitely the game to watch, and I recommend people come see her play. She's special. I quickly looked her up. She started at VCU. Then she finished up at UMBC. So she's a problem, 6 foot with those type of skills, man. It's been child's play, honestly. And then on the men's side, you got the defending champs, JNR's Mob, led by, J-Dub, who's a walking bucket, funny as hell, what I'm saying? he's hilarious, man, but he a cool dude. Mo Creek, he's a sniper, played at Indiana GW, doing this overseas now. I think he may not be playing next week because of the basketball tournament is going on, so he might be away, which is a big blow for them. So they might have to call in some reinforcements. And baseline basically led by sharpshooter Troy Dockett and Jimmy House, who had 23 points in the win over the Young Kings, who were without Chris Howard, which was a big blow. And sometimes that's part of the battle. If the key guys can't make it, somebody you might not make it. Man, it's simple as that. So. Yeah, so that's why you had number 1 Jay and Osmar versus number 6 baseline. So baseline talking trash after the game. I told you, Rob, we was gonna get to the championship. We gonna get this. So we're gonna see if they can pull it off. But Jay and R, the defending champs, it's been in the last 2 years, so it's not gonna be easy.
Yeah, when you were talking about Brittany earlier, the block shots.
She does it all, man.
Like, good gosh, she was punching shots.
She does it all, and that's the thing I love that I'm seeing with that Rob is ahead of the game than the other Southern leagues. Like, the women's division is getting stronger and stronger. It's getting real, so you can kind of see it. So exactly, it's only been 2. They expanded, they getting real. I mean, I think I saw one girl. She's new this year. She played with the Maryland Jews. Okay. She just got signed to the WABA. So for people that don't know, the ABA has a women's league now. And she just got signed off of playing in the Pitts League. So it's creating opportunities, which is huge, man. That's what I feel always some leagues should be about. I mean, it's cool, guys that's already professionals to come back, women to come back, stay in shape and whatnot. But it's also a chance for people who may not looking for an opportunity. Hey, if I shine against this player that's already over there, take a look at me. So it might be a job for them. So, Rob kind of doing it the right way. Not kind of, he's doing it the right way, and it's expanding, it's growing, and I'm just, I'm happy to just, see it flourish.
All right. The other thing I know, as you mentioned, he's talking about Wilmo Creek possibly not playing.
Mm-hmm.
Last week, I feel like Abdul stepped up a little bit for them.
Yeah, I didn't even see him the last couple games I saw him play. Maybe he did play all summer. Yeah. I just didn't see him, but.
Well, I don't know about that. I was just about last week. But
he did.
Yeah, he stepped up for them quite a bit. So, I mean, it might be an opportunity for him. I look forward to that matchup between him and House.
Right.
That's going to be fun. There'll be some furniture moving down low. Those are guys they like being down there, enjoy being down there. Mm-hmm. 2 athletic dudes. It's going to be fun. And I'm interested to see how much J-Dub's going to go for.
Yep.
With Creek. I mean, you laughing, but I'm,
he gonna have to put up points.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Because they rely on 2 youngsters too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They real young. One I recall just graduated. I think he played at Central a couple years ago. And then another kid, I think he might still be in high school. I'm not sure. So they relying on youngsters to play key minutes. So he's gonna have to, kind of step it up. Hey, man.
Definitely got some opportunities coming up for them, and can't never knock that. Octavia, who you got? Who you got winning it all on both sides?
I mean,
put the pressure on you.
I mean, you always gotta go with the champs for now. You can't really knock them. Like you said, they're there every year. If they're not winning it every year, they're there every year. And I like the fact that, like you said, like playing in the pits gives a lot of them different opportunities all over, the state, the country, overseas, and everything. Because you see a lot of players that started out in the Pitts League, and even the players that's been playing there for a while, they start to notice them and they start to put them on their teams on other places. I still remember, what's his name? Reggie, when he first got into the league, and I think he was Rookie of the Year that year, and now he's playing with and now he's playing with Ojo and them in the TBC, isn't he with them in the TBC? He's playing with them. That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, just to see people a lot of people may not have known him starting out, but to see him go from Rookie of the Year to still people that's been around for a long time taking notice and putting them with him, oh, this kid can ball. I think that's amazing, number one. But yeah, you can't knock the champs. I'm kind of of course I love a good underdog story. I do. I'm not the one that always, but I've seen it firsthand 3 years in a row. So it's kind of hard to go against the champs. But, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. So, you never know with the underdogs.
All right. Cardell, who you got winning on both sides?
Oh, and then for the girls, I'm gonna just go ahead and say Renee Strong, because I've known Danae my whole life. I used to play with her when we were a lot younger. And she been a bucket since we've been 8. So I I'm just going with her just off of GP.
Okay. Cardell?
For the men's, if Mo Creek pull off a miracle, I'm rolling with them. If
You
not,
gonna have to get like a time machine.
If not, it's gonna come down to who scored more between J-Dub and Troy.
Yeah.
You know, and Troy stepped it up. He won the leading scores right along with J-Dub. So, I mean, I expect them to go at it to see. You know, they gonna have to. Hey, they gonna go for it. So, I really can't call it. But Mo Creek play, I got them. If not, it's a toss-up. It's 50-50. In the women's, man, I might go with the upset. Burge is special, man. And the way the way Black Lives Matter scrapping and stuff, like they not just winning, they beating the hell out of it. Like it's not even really close. Even though the score might be close at the end, it's not really close. And man, the way they scrap, and then they got that one person, all else fails, give her the ball.
Yeah.
Now if she don't play, it might get ugly. But if she plays and do what she gotta do, hey man, I'm going with them with the upset. I'll roll with them.
All right, before we roll on a rapid fire, I'm going with Coach Bullock and Brittany with Black Lives Matter. I'm not messing with that at all. I love how they trap. It's so funny.
Yeah.
You know what's coming, but it's a hard trap.
Mm-hmm.
And after a while, it's going to wear down on you. You're going to turn it over.
Mm-hmm.
And when they get out the running,
That's when they kill you.
man, and everybody, whoever gets the rebound, they're gone. They're just gone. I'm with Octavia, I guess, until proven otherwise. I'm going to give JR's mom the benefit of the doubt. Also, we can't knock off whatever move GM might make.
You right about that. You never know who's going to show up in the
Be
gym.
honest here.
Yeah.
We never know who might show up in Mo Creek place.
Yeah, exactly.
Just saying.
They probably done cloned him, and he gonna be in one place
They mad at
playing
they
there.
mad at the Warriors. Man,
They might find their bookie for this, okay?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So until proven otherwise, I'm good with them. But definitely impressive run by baseline.
Before we roll,
Yeah.
a lot of awards were put out for the
Yes.
Pitts League. I'm going to go ahead and read them off.
Please do.
On the women's side, Danae Hill, you know, she was named Women's MVP. Sadia Doyle from Team Anonymous was named Defensive Player of the Year. Lauren Cooper from Team Anonymous was named X Factor Sixth Man of the Year. Tajane Malone from the Hawks was named Rookie of the Year. The guy you just mentioned, Ben Bullock, was named Coach of the Year. Black Lives Matter. Regular season champs was Team Anonymous, #1 seed. They went 6-1, and the scoring champ was Raven Gerald from Team Anonymous. She averaged 24 a game. Mm-hmm. On the men's side, MVP was the guy we're talking about, Jamal J-Dub Brown from Jane Osmob. Defensive Player of the Year, core big man Pierre Johnson. Sixth man X Factor Maurice Creek from Jane Osmob. Daniel Brown from Young Kings was most improved. Rookie of the Year was Travis Berry, Virginia Pride. If y'all remember, that's the kid that hit the game winner. You know, we posted that game to knock off Sam's Ballers. Coach of the Year, Byron Wyatt, coach for Baseline. They made it to the championship games, the 6th seed. Well deserved. The regular season champs, J.N. Osmar, finished 5-1. And the scoring champion, that same dude, Rookie of the Year, Travis Berry, he averaged 26.9 points a game.
That's tough.
I need Pettis to round up. He's giving that 27 right now.
We round up in here. I'm rounding up for him. It's
And-
20. It's 27. You good?
Yeah, and you know, he named All Stars too. So, and I'm happy for us that the show will be representing one team, the Focus. It would be the Focus versus the Huddle.
Yep.
All-Star game for the men's and women. So shout out to Rob for doing that. That's a great honor. The All-Star roster for the women for us, Team Focus, is Natalie Harris, Maryland Jewels, Danielle Prey, Maryland Jewels, Danielle Forrest, Maryland Jewels, Sadia Doyle, Team Anonymous, Raven Gerald, Team Anonymous, Lauren Cooper, Team Anonymous, Kalika Francis, the Vets, and Danielle Jones from the Vets for Team Huddle. Tajane Malone, the Hawks, Amaya Yancey, Hawks, T. Green, the Hawks, Ebony Edwards, Concrete Playground, Jasmine Bird, Concrete Playground, Shakina Williams, Bird Gang, Destiny Jernigan, Bird Gang, and Jasmine McDonald, Bird Gang. And on the fella side, for us, the Focus, we have Devin Sweeney from Young Kings, Daniel Brown from Young Kings, Justin Bino from Young Kings, Rodney Clark, Rich Grills, Ray's Hunt, Rich Grills, Devontae Thomas from Rich Grills, Jerome Jones, Not Me Entertainment, Todd Green, Not Me Entertainment, Julius Brown, Sam's Ballers, and Rock Lee Vaughn from Sam's Ballers. And for the Huddle Show, D'Angelo Vaughn from Black Power, Chris Davis from Black Power, Scott Williams, Virginia Pride, Travis Berry, Rookie of the Year, leading scorer, Virginia Pride. He's also with Team Huddle. Kyle Gonzalez from Virginia Pride, Darrell Armstrong from bottom of the 5, Savion Ward, bottom of the 5, Hugh Jones, Baby Shaq from Core, Isaiah Dickinson from Core, and Pierre Johnson, Defensive Player of the Year for Core.
It's going to be a good game.
Congratulations to all of the 2018 Pitts League All-Stars, and looking forward to 2 great championship games this weekend. That being said, man, we about to get into rapid fire. So, what you got for us this week, sir?
Okay,
It means I can close my notes now.
Close your notebook.
Oh man, so Richard Sherman was asked about what kind of ended the Seahawks run. He said mistakes and poor judgment.
Yep.
His quote was, "I think it'll all come out when they do the 30 for 30." But mistakes and poor judgment on things ruined what could have been a really special deal. They lost their way. It's as simple as that. They just lost their way. When you make too many mistakes over a long period of time, you kind of dig yourself a hole. And then when you backtrack, you got to make a bunch of rash decisions to try and fill that hole and hope that it holds up. What are your thoughts on that?
Why you gonna look at me?
Because I want to hear your thoughts.
It's your division, man.
Oh man,
You right.
Look, all good things come to an end. Sometimes just run
No
the
more
ball.
legend of boom.
Hey, sometimes just run the ball. Learn from us. We see 5 favorite routes. Run the ball. I mean, I think we all saw this coming. It's no surprise. Like Sherm said, I do look forward to that 30 for 30. Because with them type of dudes that kind of like really honest, the type of dudes that aren't there anymore, it's going to be fun. Look forward to that. But, I mean, you can look at a couple teams have done that, and it's kind of changed, like, it changed their identity. You take the dogs off their team. You were cool when it helped you climb that mountain and get to where you needed to get to. Then after a certain point, instead of just kind of riding with that as our culture and sticking with that, you try to change and acquiesce to other things and other people, so to speak. And, it's hard to deal with that. And the other part of it is kind of, I'm sure to those guys that you kind of built that on, it feels like you turned it back to them. So, I think it's something with Seahawks management really, really, really screwed the pooch on this one. And, I mean, the good thing is they still got Russell Wilson. Still got one of the best players in the NFL. But, yeah, when you look at what you could have had, it's absurd. But I tell you.
I mean, yeah, I definitely agree. I think I've seen something similar, not as on their scale because they won a championship when they were all there. But as far as, it was kind of the same thing that happened to my team, when Chip Kelly came in, instead of riding with the people they had, they started switching stuff up. A lot of people started going different places. And then out of nowhere, it was kind of like, what's going on? Thankfully, they were able to get it together. But, yeah, I think like you said, too, like we kind of seen it coming. All things come to an end to a certain extent. And I definitely will be watching that 30 for 30. I'm going to put that on my DVR to keep that because I would really be interested to see how they really, really feel without having to be political about it. To hear, Earl Thomas and Richard Sherman, and even to see how Russell Wilson feels about it. And especially if they throw Marshawn in there, I'm definitely going to tune in for that. So, like you said, kind of saw it coming, but all things come to an end.
Cardell?
I'm rolling with what y'all say, but one thing I just want to point out, sometimes you can outsmart yourself with decisions, and I'm talking about that from the front office and coaching. And when you do that, it's hard to get that trust back. It takes forever to build trust, but once it's destroyed, it's hard to build that back up. And honestly, I don't even think Russell Wilson did anything wrong. He's just professional. I think he caught in the crossfires because he was, in a sense, with the front office and coach were trying to push out when their identity was Marshawn and that defense. That's where, and it was. And the fact that they weren't in tune with that speaks volumes. And that's kind of where Richard Sherman was getting at. Yes, he became an all-pro quarterback, but he's one of many pieces that made that thing work. And I just feel like a lot of coaches and GMs outsmart themselves trying to be geniuses when a lot of times it's just real simple. Run the ball, like you said. Just get the ball to Marshawn. Now, if they stop them 3-4 times, you shake the Patriots' hands, hell of a stand. You just got to take that L. But when you outsmart, and then that happened, they never recover from that. And chemistry and belief and stuff in one another is so fragile, especially at that level, especially in the NFL where at any given moment, like Jalen Rose always say this, man, you might as well write NFL contracts on toilet tissue.
Because them things go up fast.
Because they don't mean nothing. Once you get your bonus, rest of that is whatever. They can rip it up at any time and just treat you like trash. So, that's just what it is. And that's what he coming at, man. They made a mistake. And I'm rolling with Richard Sherman's side because just because you get it, you get high and you become a contender, you win a Super Bowl, you get there a few times, it may be a long time before you get back. And I'll bring that up. I'll, bring out, the Bulls. They always had drama with Jerry Krause and their front office. To this day, the Bulls don't like to pay players. You just saw what Zach LaVine tried to go through. Yep. They wasn't even trying to pay Jordan until he had a strong on him. Like, you got an album, I'm going to move to the next. He had to say that. And that's when they started paying him the $30 million and everything for years, all the way up until 96, 97. He was only making $2 million a year. He was underpaid all those years. But meanwhile, the league and other teams are making billions off of him. You see what I'm saying? So that just tells you what it is. And the Bulls haven't been really back since, other than the Derrick Rose years, which was short-lived. Mm-hmm. So I just feel like, like you said, we'll make it interesting, 30 for 30, and hopefully everybody participate, man, in his honors, which I doubt it.
To piggyback on the Zach LaVine thing, like, it was to the point where they don't believe, like, players don't think the Bulls pay players. Mm-hmm. He told some of the Kings at Summer League, he was like, I'm going to see y'all soon. Like, when they extended that offer to him, like, oh, like, the Bulls ain't paying this. Then it's like, oh, okay. But, yeah, carry on, sir. Next question.
Le'Veon Bell, man. His agent, he said his agent came out after, the contract talk stalled, said, practical reality, this is Le'Veon Bell's final year with the Steelers. He said confirmed that the lack of a deal shortly before the 4 p.m. Eastern time deadline, and said that the writing is down on the wall for his client future with the Steelers. What y'all think about that?
I think I have a little bit of a mixed feeling about it, just because I feel like, Le'Veon has come out and said, like, I wanted to finish my career in Pittsburgh and all this stuff. My thing is, of course, I still think that part of it goes back to, like, NFL players and NBA players. Like, I really feel like NFL players are hunting for NBA money. And then because they're not getting it, they're trying to figure out how they can get it.
That's a good point.
So, like, they're like, I'm a commodity for you guys. I bring in so much money. Like, why am I not able to get a long-term deal for this much money? And so I think, to me, it's the reason I have mixed feelings about it, because on one hand, you're saying, like, I really want to be here for, the rest of my time. But on the other hand, you still got to be a businessman about it and, get your worth. So I get it. But I'm still kind of like, I don't know if it's really going to be over, because I can't really see, the Steelers really, like, just letting him walk out the door. Like, I mean, crazier things have happened, so I won't be surprised if it happens. But, to kind of come out in the open before the season starts to be like, yeah, this is probably going to be my last season, I just think that's something that, number one, they probably should have kept to themselves. I don't think it was, I'm sure people were thinking it anyway, but to come right out and say it, I just think you probably should have kept it to yourself. But it is what it is. But, yeah.
Well, I believe this is the second time about to be in the franchise tag, right? According to NFL, you can't be a third time. I believe everything he said. He's not going to be there again. Mm-hmm. Like that's it. And that's what you said about hunting for NBA money. I'm right there with you, and the first place they need to look at is that union. That's one of the biggest differences between the NBA and the NFL or even the MLB. The players' union compared to the NFL are leaps and bounds above this. Because it's crazy, because some quarterbacks get paid crazy money for things they've never done and won't deliver on because of the position. Which again, go back to your union. Look at what Odell's going through with the Giants. It's a no-brainer to pay that man. But from a business standpoint, like, this is the sad part. I can see why a team won't commit to anything you don't have to. There's nothing pushing you to do it because you get a franchise tag. The NBA, push come to shove, you can't franchise them. When that deal runs up, you're short. You trade him for something or lose him for nothing. Mm-hmm. The NFL owners don't have to worry about that. Oh, now here's a tag, buddy. Here's another tag, buddy. Then you can do stuff like limited snaps. You can do all types of stuff to mess with players. I'm not saying they're going to do that, but that's the difference with NFL players, man. Their union got to step up.
And just kind of piggyback off you, the NBA years ago made that stand.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I felt like the NFL had their chance last year with the Kaepernick knee thing, and they ain't do it. They ain't come together. Everybody had their little agendas, and they broke through. And I'm like, y'all messed up now. Now these owners that are proven to be racist and everything and wanted to be one way are going to double back and cover their tracks and make sure it will be 10 times harder for y'all to try to make a stand next time. Because what guys in the NBA did, Bill Russell, Jerry West, they knew the TV deal. The NBA wanted that TV money. What they did was they called them in the All-Star game. They came in there like, why aren't y'all dressed? Oh, we not going to play until y'all give us free agency and all that, give everything we needed. Huh? You know, we ain't doing that. You know, we got TV deal on the line. That's not our problem. You know, some guy, hey, salary got increased and everything. All of them, everybody was on both sides. They was just chilling in the locker room in their suits like, it's on y'all, man. Y'all got about 15 minutes before we bounce. NBA said, we need the money. Went right in there, told the team, y'all can have whatever y'all want. They signed it on the paper right then and there. Okay, let's go hoop, fellas. Bill Russell won MVP. It was that simple. And that's how these players are eating now. It started with that. NFL players got to do the same. But back to the Le'Veon Bell. Hold on, man. Over 1,200 yards, almost 1,300 yards.
Yep.
Average 4 a carry. 9 touchdowns, 85 receptions. Arguably the greatest, the best running back in the game. Okay, and you're going to risk losing that for nothing. And on top of that, you're going to go in this season with him clearly pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
The team see that he's pissed off. So, and what a lot of these teams don't realize, when you do it to one player, the rest of the league is watching. So why would I come play for you?
Mm-hmm.
So that will hurt you down the line. So you better hope you draft well, you know, because now you're not going to win. And then it caused friction where now Le'Veon Bell, and I'm not accusing him enough, I don't even know if he's this type of player, he can be trying to get his and make sure he does get paid next year. You see what I'm saying? Or what if he don't get a play call when he feel he should? Now he looking at it like, he looking at Tomlin different, he looking at Ben different. This causes an unnecessary distraction where they trying to compete for a Super Bowl. And this dumb situation can mess them up as far as trying to get to the Super Bowl, and it's unfortunate. Pay the man. He's earned it. Like, he's been consistent for his whole career.
Not only that, the numbers you read are just from the running.
I was about to say, because you
I say 85 receptions.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I say 85 receptions. I mean, you know, he almost, come on, man.
He's a running back
doing the
slash
work of
wide
two
receiver. And
Like,
get paid half.
Yeah. Okay, Martavis Bryant made a few big plays. Le'Veon was down the field stretching that defense. You know, that's one of the few places you can take advantage of. Week after week, we see this dude doing multiple things for you, man.
He can come to Philly. It's cool.
That's the thing for the NFL. I mean, we got like
They
75
trying to
mil.
put the Warriors in the NFL.
Hey, we got like
Everybody.
75 mil next year. I'm here for it. I'm right here with Octavia.
You ain't even got to move far.
Hey, Octavia, I'm right here with you. Hey, look, it's sunny out there. You can do what you want.
No, I don't
As
know
long as
about
the
that.
difference-
You don't even
hella
got.
bags at him.
I'm just saying.
They gonna throw crazy bags at him.
I was like,
And
you
I'm
don't
not-
even have to move
And
far.
the reason I'm not mad at him, because this franchise just spit in your face with the
That's
body
what I'm
work
saying.
that you do. You know what I'm saying?
And
So I'm not
second
mad about it.
time.
And if he sat, like, he's better than me, because if he sat out the year,
Oh, he's sitting out training camp already. I wouldn't even be mad. I'm gonna stay healthy. You know, like,
he
all right,
did
that's
this-
how y'all want it.
like he
Okay.
said, it'd be just like it'd be a rerun of last year. He did the same thing last year.
Man.
I'll come to work when I'm ready, and y'all gonna play me when I'm ready too. Last question, sir. What you got for us?
We're gonna stick with football.
Okay.
Former Giants head coach Ben McAdoo came out and said, "I let Odell Beckham down." His full quote is, he said the one thing he didn't do, he didn't realize is that he didn't connect with the star wide receiver enough. He said, "I learned I need to handle players and work with players better. I need to be better for him personally. As a coordinator and head coach, I was too busy trying to scheme ways to get him the ball, especially early in my time in New York, that I didn't step back and see the big picture the way I should have. Odell's so passionate, cares so much that emotion hurts him at times on game day. I should have seen my job. Odell was more than simply X's and O's. It was also helping Odell, the person. He is not only a generational talent, but also bright and well-read, and I let him down early in his career. I will not make that mistake again." Thoughts?
I give him props for admitting his faults, number one, because a lot of those colored people wouldn't say those type of things about the other colored people. So I never want to say that.
Call them colonizers.
The Anglo-Saxons, I'm sorry. So I mean, because I think that's real. Like, I really feel like that's probably, I think, to me, in my opinion, like, I just think that there's a big disconnect between, like, the culture of, like, coaches and then the players. Like, you have those coaches that are connected to the players, like, within their culture, where they can speak to them on a certain level and get a good response out of them, as opposed to the other coaches that can't. You know, like, I feel like that's why I watch Hard Knocks. I watch Hard Knocks every year just to see how, like, the coaches are with the players, how the players are with the coaches. I watched the show on, oh my gosh, I think it was on Amazon. I was like, all or nothing or something. It was about the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And I hate them, but I still watched it. And I was actually surprised at how much, like, Jason Garrett is engaged with them. Like, you know, like, he speaks their language. So I feel like that it's coaches' jobs to be able to relate to their players, to know what their players are good at, and to know what makes it work. I think that's why I think coaches get paid the big bucks. That's what you get paid to do. And I think that, like he said, there is a big disconnect there. And I mean, it's a good thing that he acknowledges it and realizes that it's some changes that need to be made. So hopefully they don't do too well, but I like Odell, but I don't know about them playing us, but
Cardell, then I close out.
I feel the same way. Some coaches are still kind of stuck on the old school ways where it's like it's my way or the highway 100%. You ain't got no choice. It's a different day and age now, man. You got to relate. Like, one great example, I go to basketball side, Greg Popovich. I remember when he drafted Tim Duncan, he could have easily be like, you're a rookie, you don't know nothing, come in here and show me what you got. First thing he did, he flew down to where Tim Duncan was from and just to get a feel for him. You know what I'm saying? Took him out to dinner. He done that with countless players throughout the years where let's go out to dinner. That picture earlier, him and Kawhi beefing, the front. You see the picture, he in there with Kawhi alone just talking. That brings the guard down, and you see more of the human side from both of them. So when you do come together in those heated moments and y'all talking and whatever like that, it's no friction. Y'all can come together and y'all understand where each other's coming from. Even if one person might be a little hostile, you feel like even a couple years ago when Kawhi did something dumb and Greg Popovich yelled at him, really got lit into him, and all Kawhi was like, okay, he just walked. Most players would have, but what if Popovich wasn't that cool of a coach? It'd have been a totally different reaction. So I mean, you gotta relate to the players. You gotta understand them. It's not the 60s, whatever, 50s, whatever. It's a new day, and the best coaches did that. Phil Jackson did that. When you relate to the human side, players even go to bat for you even more because they feel like you give a damn. Whereas suppose I'm just a player out here, just going hard and out here, and you don't care. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, but as a coach, sometimes you gotta be hard on them, sometimes you don't. But it all evens out. So I'm glad he came claim to that realization, and hopefully he'd be better for it.
And just to piggyback off of, like you said about Popovich, like he did the same thing with LaMarcus too recently.
Yeah.
With LaMarcus saying like, well, maybe I ain't the right fit for y'all. Like, obviously something ain't working. He sat down with him and was like, you know what, you right. I've been looking at it all wrong, and I'm trying to make you something that you're not. So let's get together on one page and figure it out. So I think that was a real good point to bring up Pop. They can learn from Pop on a lot of levels.
I agree with you both about everything that you said. I probably don't agree with the person who's saying it. I don't really believe anything that he's saying too much, just because just a couple weeks ago he was out, trying to drag the whole division and everything else. He's been acting real wild since he got fired. But I hope, like you guys said, he does get better for it. But part of me, I'm kind of skeptical. Feels like somebody who's trying to make sure they cover their tracks, to make sure they get another opportunity.
I was going to say, so you trying to get another job?
Just with the NFL. I hope I'm wrong. But that's why I'm kind of skeptical of it, because, we've seen this song and dance from coaches that get fired before, when they've acted similarly, then they come back and do the same thing again. But, hopefully it's different for him. He's a little younger. He's one of the, on the younger side of coaches, so hopefully he gets another chance. He means what he says and he learned from it. As always, before we close out, I need you guys to get over to finalsmag.com, get over to mymonosports.com. We'll see you guys next week, same time, same place, right here on The Focus.